Hey guys, it's David here. Welcome to my daily updates where I build $100,000 a year business life and just document everything of building the business and figuring out life in my early 20s. So, how these daily updates usually go is that first I answer your questions or help you with make scenarios. Then I check my YouTube stats and see if there has been any progress. And then I do some strategy, life work, or just talk about certain topic. And what I will about today is kind of the value of education and university. So let's get right into it. And the first thing that I will always be checking is the comments, if there are any. But the subscribers are slowly growing, very slowly. We had 5 subscribers, now we have 6 subscribers. If we look at the analytics, we've been getting 2 views a day on average steadily now. And let's see if we have any comments. We don't. So what I do instead is that I check this guy, Nick Saraev, who also does daily updates in kind of similar area as I do. And I just basically see what people are asking him and I respond to those comments. So Supa says, in your experience, which CRM tools do the majority of small businesses seem to use? It really depends. I think, so first of all, if it's very, very small one-person businesses, etc., a lot of the times they won't have CRM per se. A lot of the times they will use some, Excel, Google Sheets, most likely. That's the first thing. Apart from that, ClickUp, Monday, that really are the biggest one when it comes to the small businesses. Obviously also Pipedrive, and then when you get bigger, you start seeing Salesforce more and more, but you're asking about small businesses, so that's not that common, at least in my experience. That's the kind of general outlook. And then a lot of the kind of industries have their own businesses, own CRM. So for instance, recruiters have CRMs that are specifically made for recruiters that have extra features for them, and obviously then you will need to research your niche and see what exactly are the people using. But that being said, if you're building any automations, it's usually quite similar how the system is going to work, no matter the CRM. Obviously, the technical details will be a bit different, but the framework should be basically the same. Troll says, hi. It could be that you're seeing less growth in terms of subscribers because your niche-specific content has already reached a good portion of the interested audience. So growth almost inevitably slows down if the niche isn't larger than a certain size. One solution is to make more general videos that attract broader audience, but that would mean capturing the attention of people who are less likely to be interested in your school stuff. Just my opinion as a YouTube strategist guy. Interesting. Let's check this guy on his channel. He seems to be I think it's Italian, right? But I am not completely sure. Yeah, okay. I was worried that I will embarrass myself. Interesting. So this guy, he's probably recording about gaming. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting that he's saying that the subscriber growth is slowing down for him, because to be honest, he grows like crazy. I will check. Can you see YouTube growth statistics? Is Socialblade? I think it is. God damn. This site has been around forever. Let's check. Nick Saraev. And let's see. So if we check the weekly kind of new subscribers, right? Okay, I see what he means. So in around March, February, damn, the guy has been going on for so long. I started watching him somewhere even before this, like April. He had like no subscribers at all back then, and then he rose dramatically. And especially in here, you know, the kind of growth rate has been increasing. And then here, this is the crazy weeks that I talk about, when he got 11,000 in 1 week, 6,500. And I guess now he's getting 6,000 in the last week. Yeah, the question is if the growth is slowing down, right? Or if he just had a extra peak and now it got back to the previous kind of results. Not previous results, it's still, you know, 6,000 new subscribers in a week is still obviously way better than 2,500 in here, even though that's so much compared, you know, in my terms. But that's my, I guess, idea of what's happening. Joseph Biro says, "Hi Nick, I love your videos. I know you've made videos and talked about how to get started on tight budget, but could you make a video showing how to start if you have bigger budget, like somewhere between 5,000 and 15,000? That's something I've been responding to yesterday. So if you want to see answer to this question, watch that video." Altriso says, "Hey Nick, big fan of your content. You're one of the only ones in this space that actually shares relevant and useful information. Saying that, I felt like your last few videos were kind of repeated a lot of things that you already covered earlier. I guess that could be one of the reasons of growth decrease. I'd be really interested of seeing you using other tools in the future other than N8N Make that can be used to fulfill client needs. Also, covering voice agent and live builds would be interesting." Makes sense. So the thumbnail and thought, "Be brave, Nick. The Matrix is trying to get you. Don't let them, my friend. What you're doing is invaluable." I actually don't know what was the thumbnail before, so I guess it's not very relevant. But that's it for me yapping or responding to questions, right? And let's see my growth stats. So we already seen that the current amount of video is of subscribers is 6 on the daily updates channel, and it's 217 on the main channel. So again, we had some growth in the past 2 days, and I guess you can't grow every day, right? So that's fine. And here we also didn't grow for today, and this is the big goal. So now we have 217 subscribers. The aim is to get 5,000 by the end of August. Okay. The last thing that I want to go over is just some of my thoughts on university, because right now I'm at the peak of exam season, at least where I'm at. So I'm doing a lot of studying, right? I actually can't focus 100% on business because I need to do my studies. And if university is worth it for people that are pursuing business is a big question. And to be honest, I'm still not 100% sure in general where I stand on it. I had my doubts for a long time. I also had a gap year between high school and the university. But what I feel like is, and one thing that I would like to talk about is the argument that, well, if you want to do business, don't go to university when there's a teacher who never done business. Buy some course from someone who has done the business you want to do, right? And in essence, this argument, of course, makes sense. But I think a lot of the people make the university professors way dumber than they actually are. So I suppose it also very much depends on the university that you're going, right? But from my experience, I sometimes wish that I didn't skip some of the classes and that I attended more, because some of the professors are great, and don't get me wrong, from my experience, I didn't have a bad experience with any of them. Some are good, some are great, but a lot of them actually have deep experience from the fields that they're doing. they teach accounting. They have a company that's doing accounting and taxes. They have long experience. Or now I have an intro banking class. We had a guy who's like, when talking about risk and managing risk for banks, we had a guest lecture by a guy who's chief risk officer at Citibank, one of the largest banks in the world, and things like this. And I also feel like that to a certain extent, and we'll see if this kind of bet plays out over the long term, but I think that it's kind of necessary to balance out the short-term needs, short-term, business needs, which is the business itself. But then if you get into the higher boys league and you get to the level of actually owning multiple businesses, it's not only about the daily operations and the strategy business wise, but it's way more about finance and debt and working with institutions. And that's really something that I hope to learn and hopefully use in my business one day. And obviously, I see it with things like accounting, for instance. I know that I won't be the one doing my accounting, but it's still very valuable to kind of understand it more in depth. So yeah, that's my thought. That's everything for today. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me know down in the comment, and I'll be looking forward to tomorrow. Bye.